What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Panthers Downloaded. Today I am joined by the amazing Rocket League talent of Jake Conlon. Jake, thank you so much for coming and doing this interview with me today. We love having you around. We love having you on the executive board. We love watching you play Rocket League whenever we have tournaments, you have matches, etc., etc. Let's just start off right away, kind of like, what do you love most about Panther Esports and just playing Rocket League in general on Panther Esports? What's your highlight of being a part of the organization?
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Stewie. I really like the competitive-based aspect of it. You know, I've always been kind of a competitive guy. Played sports throughout high school, played a little bit in college. When I transferred here, I kind of knew I was done playing sports, and Rocket League was something that piqued my interest. And Panther Esports has given me a chance to compete in Rocket League and kind of showcase my talents that way.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a great part about Panther Esports is sort of that we provide that competitive nature, but also the casual nature of it. And we do have a lot of players who come from sports, and they're done with their sports careers, and they come into esports, and they bring that competitive spirit, but also don't have to. They bring that competitive spirit from sports. They bring it into esports, which makes for just an awesome atmosphere for everyone involved. But it brings in a lot of people. We absolutely love having it here, and especially with this space, having a space where people can,
awesome.
People can come and they can hang out, and they can play together in person. It sort of builds that community of gamers that we've always prided ourselves in having. What do you like most about playing Rocket League, though? Specifically Rocket League, what drew you to that game specifically?
Yeah, I think a lot of it had to do with it just being sort of easy to understand. It's very based around soccer, which I used to play growing up. So I kind of already knew like the goals of the game. Then it just came down to just getting the hang of the mechanics and kind of the strategy to it. And I used to play Fortnite right before I played Rocket League.
Okay.
And I just liked the excitement of Fortnite, like the build battles and stuff like that. But a lot of Fortnite and like other battle royales, there's a lot of downtime and stuff like that. But in a game like Rocket League, it's a 5-minute game. It's constant action. You got to be like on top of it all the time. And I think that really is what drew me in, was just that constant action and just having to be aware at all points of the game.
I think that's even what brings a lot of people into even like games like Overwatch, even where it's like there's not really a super downtime, but Rocket League especially, it's intense minutes. Like those Rocket League matches, at least what I've played, they feel like they last forever sometimes, and other times they're gone in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
It's really, there's never a boring moment when it comes to Rocket League. We have to first of all get this out of the way. Go-to car. What do you like to do for your car?
My go-to car?
Go-to car. What's the setup? What's the drip? What's the Jake Conlon car drip?
Well, the Octane has always been my old faithful ever since I started playing. Sometimes I'll switch to Fennec, lately the Honda Civic, but the Octane, that's my baby. I always come back to the Octane one way or another, whether it's after a 2-week hiatus or a month, I always come back to the Octane. So that's my go-to car. The decal, I used to run Stocktane, which is just like the default decal and the default wheels, but lately I've been getting into kind of some of the esports skins that they have. So like SSG, I ran for a while. Version 1, I ran for a while, and lately I've been putting on the neural network, which is what a lot of pros have been using. I first saw Joyo use it, and Joyo, he's really mechanical player, really super fun to watch, and I just, when I have that on, I just feel like Joyo sometimes, like I can make those crazy plays. So that's what I've been rocking with as of late, and that's probably what you'll see me in on Sunday.
Okay. So obviously, you've been playing Rocket League for a while. You've been playing for a while now. You're obviously very skilled player. What types of tricks would you give to sort of new players who are trying to get into competitive Rocket League and they're trying to get better at it, but are finding themselves sort of hitting a skill wall almost of just being like, I'm doing all I can, I can't really do more. What kind of tips would you give to those players?
Yeah, I think a lot about getting over those humps is just playing a lot, not necessarily games like ranked or casual, but like just grinding training like free play or just some of the training packs that the game has to offer and that the community has made. If you're on Steam, the Steam workshops are just a huge tool to further your mechanics and stuff like that. Other than that, like watching videos, I don't hear that tip given enough. I think watching a lot of high-level gameplay, watching a lot of tutorial videos, stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of stuff you don't have to be at home to do. You know, you can be in the car, you can be traveling somewhere, you can be away from your setup. You got your phone, just pull up a YouTube video, you know, watch some Rocket League.
Yeah.
That's a way to improve while you're not even on the game. I mean, just watching those high-level players play, your brain's going to subconsciously soak in kind of the decisions they're making and the movements they're making. So that's I always suggest that to people. Watch videos.
Well, because that is sort of the sort of unique nature of Rocket League is how much you have to think on your feet when you're in the match, and how you can have this sort of game plan, but like in a lot of games, you know, they build like a team comp. They build, you know, this character works well with this character, but in Rocket League, you're all on an even playing field. It's all skill, and it's sort of thinking on your feet and making sure that you have the right chemistry with your team. And I think that's what brings a lot of people to Rocket League, is that sort of unique, entirely skill-based atmosphere almost. We'll shift away from Rocket League here for a little bit, talk a little bit more about Panther Esports. So you're an executive like myself on the Panther Esports board. What do you love most about being in the spot that you're in and doing what you do? Or just kind of a little bit about what you do first off before we jump into kind of what you love most about it.
Yeah, so I'm the director of student relations, which means that I kind of handle recruitment for the club, and I handle like disputes within the club, which we've been lucky the past couple of years. Haven't had to solve any disputes. Things have been solved on their own pretty much. But the recruitment side of things, I just think that there's a lot of people interested in video games on campus that maybe you've never heard of, like Panther Esports, or maybe just too scared to join or stuff like that. So I really like getting out, especially like at the beginning of the year when we had like the club day or whatever out in the courtyard, or Mock Reunion Live is another big one. I just love coming and interacting with people that maybe I wouldn't get the chance to interact with outside of Panther Esports, you know.
Right.
And just talk to some of those people, try to convince them to join the club, and just overall help the club reach the biggest member count possible.
Yeah.
That's basically my goal.
Which this year, so far this semester, we have been seeing new highs in people joining our Discords and people, you know, coming in and being a part of this organization. I think a lot of that is A, to the space, but B, our executive board is working round the clock, making sure content's out, making sure everything's organized, trying to get events set up. And I really do think that this executive board that we have has really achieved new levels for Panther Esports, and a lot of that has to do with the space that we've been given. But specifically, I mean, if you're watching this and you're a new member, there's a good chance you already got a message from this guy.
Yeah.
Working around the clock, making sure all of our new members feel welcome. And obviously, if you have any questions, he's the guy you go to.
Yeah. I'm available to answer any questions. If I don't know the answer to the question, I'll find you an answer. I guarantee you that. I'll find you somebody who can help you.
Is there a player, either playing in ranked or when you go to tournaments, that you would consider a player where, you know, every time you go against this guy, it's going to be a tough matchup? Do you have a rival? Is there a Jake Conlon rival?
Oh, a rival. That's tough. I don't know if I really do have a specific rival. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. You know, ranked is so random. It seems like I'm seeing new people every single day. That's a good question.
I know we get a lot of love for some of the Kirkwood guys when they come over and play against us when they come to our tournaments. The Kirkwood guys get a lot of love. Even like the Twins, you guys get a little 1v1 action going on. Can we get a little 1v1 tournament going with you and the Twins sometime?
I mean, maybe. I don't know how much they like ones. I don't even like it much myself. So
that seems to be a consensus within Rocket League that
Yeah.
ones are just kind of bad.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. Like, anytime I see somebody I know on ranked and they're on the other team, definitely like want to beat them.
Wanna
I
beat them.
definitely
You need
like
those bragging
focus
rights.
up. I lean in. You know, I need to beat them because I don't want them hanging that over my head. Whenever I see like Colin or Cole or like Michael,
Yeah.
any of those guys in there, I gotta beat them.
When you have a Rocket League match, you got a big match coming up like this Sunday, do you have a pregame ritual? Do you have something that you always do pregame before a big match?
Well, I'll probably get on and I'll free play a little bit, and then I'll do some training packs. I just want to make sure I'm like nice and warmed up. Then I'll get into some ranked games, try to make sure we get the flow of the game, just feel that out. And other than that, that's pretty much it. I don't do anything too special.
Go to gas station snack combo drink food.
Here in Cedar Falls?
Here in Cedar Falls, wherever you go, what's your go-to? When you enter a gas station, filling up your car, what do you go for first? What's your go-to?
You know, Quick Star boneless wings.
Quick Star, boneless wings.
I love the boneless wings, specifically the barbecue. That's what I've been into lately.
All right. As far as Rocket League goes, you seem to kind of be consensus top player, you and I, but Cole and Colin kind of both up there with you. You are all the same rank. And that chemistry, how much does your chemistry really affect? Because I think some players might even understand, like when they're just playing solo, I don't think they understand how much chemistry really plays into how you play in Rocket League.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It kind of goes back to the point you're making earlier, how everybody's on an even playing field. You know, all the cars drive the same speed. There's no special abilities or anything like that. Everything's even, and it just comes down to the mechanics of the game, who can be the most consistent, who can be the most efficient. And I think play style really comes out in those moments. You know, everybody has their own specific play styles, their own specific tendencies. It's just like whether or not you can play around them, especially in threes, because there's 3 people on the field. In the higher ranks, you know, one person can cover a lot of space, so it's really important to not overextend yourself or like double commit and stuff like that. You don't want to cover the same area of the field your teammates are covering. So I think that's where the chemistry really comes into play, and that's what kind of separates the higher ranked teams from like some of the not so high ranked teams in that retrospect.
So you guys have big match on Sunday. What does this sort of qualifier mean for your team on Sunday? What kind of opportunities does this present itself to your team this semester?
Yeah, so I would consider us probably like a bubble qualifier. So like we have an outside shot. There's definitely better teams than us out there rank wise, but the opportunities that presents is great. Somehow we could manage to be one of the top 16 teams in the West. We would get to play on the official Rocket League Twitch channel, which would be huge. Good publicity for the club.
That would be amazing, yeah.
Not only for us, but for the club as a whole. I think that would be really cool. And the university, I think it'd be a great chance to prove to like the university, like, hey, look at what we're doing. I mean, there's tens of thousands of people watching this stream, and it's you and I playing.
No pressure.
Yeah.
No pressure at all.
Yeah.
No pressure at all for it.
And not only that, just like the level of talent that we would face in CRL would be just off the charts.
It's a good test of skill.
Yeah.
Make sure, and you kind of see where you guys are at in comparison to those like almost like pro level teams that you could potentially be playing against.
Yeah.